So this is a lot bigger than the Honda.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's twice as much stuff.
Or the Miata, or any of the Mazdas.
Or, yeah.
Okay, camera.
Oh.
Alright, so hello everyone. So it's finally time for us to start tearing down the V8s. You've probably seen them sitting around the backgrounds of our other videos. And so we're going to start. This is a Ford 4.6 liter modular engine from a 2005 Lincoln Aviator. Really all I need from this are the heads.
Yep, because Billy's doing a 5.4 liter engine block swap in his, what is it, an 02?
2000 Mustang.
It's a 2000 Mustang. Yeah. He's going to do a 5.4 liter block, and he's going to use these 4.6 liter heads.
This block. So the heads are going to go into this block. This block is a 5.4 from a like a 99 Navigator. The reason I'm taking the heads off the one, putting them on here, is because those are the updated heads that have like the 9-thread spark plug holes. I believe these still have the 4-thread spark plug holes.
Also, the other cool thing is the valve covers, the timing cover are all painted in this nice like sparkly stuff, and it looks good. So we might as well use that stuff. But we want the increased, displacement because he's doing. It's going to be all motor, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So we're doing all motor build on a Mustang. So this will be our teardown. Yep, so we're gonna start tearing this one down. We might as well, the plan right now is we're looking at about starting on this build in spring. So since we got a little bit of downtime while it's cold and it's getting close to, the holidays, we're gonna go ahead and start tearing this apart. And see if we can start getting things cleaned up and ready to put back together.
The ultimate goal for this project, all reason I'm going with these two engines, so this will work on it. This is a Boss 302 intake. There's adapter plates you can get from MMR, or Modular Motorsports Racing, so you can put this onto a 5.44 valve.
And it's going to look good. It's purely for fun. There's no specific goals. We just want to put a bunch of the cool parts we've seen over the years together. I had a 98 Cobra. That was it was the first year of the 4-valve Mustang engines, and ever since I got rid of that, I've always wanted to build one. I never got to really do much of that one. And Billy has found the right combination to put a truly good intake manifold on it. Yeah, some of these end up making less power on the bottom end and more top end, but we're doing it for shits and giggles, see what we can come up with. It ought to be a fun car. It needs a lot of other work anyway, but hopefully we might be able to. Cool.
The 460 will be built later.
Yeah.
Gotta figure that out first.
I guess first what we'll do is we'll probably vacuum off all the dust and dirt and make sure there's nothing in the intake ports and just start tearing it down. Getting it down to the point, because all we really need from this is the heads, right?
Heads and, yeah.
Probably
just the heads, cams, but I may find aftermarket cams later.
Okay. Cool. Let's do it. Okay. Get the old shot back. Hopefully it doesn't blow dust all over everything. Did you put that filter back in?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Should we do the pliers or the wrench?
Did she just beep on her own?
I hit the button that start recording.
Oh.
Yeah, I can control it from the tablet.
Fucking crazy science wizard, man.
Yeah, we're in the future. It's 2023. Almost 2024.
It hurts when it physically hurts me when
I know.
you say that.
All right, so first thing we gotta do is get the water pump, clutch fan stuff off, whatever. So we get the timing cover off.
Luckily, Billy has his enormous pliers that he bought today and didn't tell me why he was buying them.
And you need somehow to keep it from turning, and you need a 36mm wrench to be able to get the clutch fan off. Wow.
That was the right purchase. A lot cheaper than buying a
we've
fan removal kit.
Yeah, we've tried those like fan removal tools. The metal is like 16th inch thick. They don't work.
Yeah, watch your feet.
Cool.
Yeah, they tend to bend. We actually had one that was set up for an air tool and it just folded over. It'd be nice to get a good set of those someday, but I don't work on enough things with
Yeah, this is the stuff you pick up at like AutoZone. That's like, I think we tried this once. You can see the jaws are like spreading apart already.
Spread. Really, it needs an impact on it versus just the big wrench. But as you can tell, that totally worked on its own. So sometimes you just need a big ass set of pliers. So anybody familiar with 4.6 4 valves knows that there's this wacky spark plug coil pack cover thing.
They changed it when they updated the model in '99.
Yeah, there's been all kinds of different ones. So I just went ahead and took those off. There's just 2 bolts. I always thread things back in just so we don't lose the hardware if we need them. Good thing is there's 2 vehicles worth of hardware on this.
Yeah.
In this garage. What are those? What size? 10 mil?
10 mil.
So.
I'll go ahead and hold on to that.
Yep. The water pump pulley.
Ooh. Nasty. FL 500S. Just like the Coyote in my truck uses.
And I think your Mustang used it too. Your V6. Engine tear down. Gonna tear it up down. Make a bunch of noise. Gonna be real messy.
We gotta start making some like vice grip garage noises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Moses sandals.
yeah. Doesn't sound right when you say it.
Yeah, it needs to be him.
He's
He's got the twang that really brings it out.
We'll come up with our own stupid sayings.
Yeah.
Wish I could use It'll Be Fine, but Cars and Cameras already took that. Did we already try turning this engine over?
We did, but we think there's like a nut or something that fell down with the intake runners that might be keeping from turning over.
Yeah, I was gonna look at that. Let me grab a light.
Woo. Yep. Nice metal impeller.
I didn't see anything in ports. I remember when I did pointing it out, but oh wait, yeah, there's some stuff in there. Let's get air in there. We'll just blow them out before we try turning anything. Where's that air?
I see something like metal in this one. Or...
Yeah, where's that air hose at? All right, watch your eyes. You just go all the way over.
Yeah, so try turning it forward.
Yep, it's hitting something solid.
Okay. We'll take it apart. Crank bolts an 18 millimeter. This thing is so nice.
Yeah, Billy splurged and bought the, what was that, the Earthquake XT?
Alright, now we gotta figure out how to get this off. It's gonna need a puller, it looks like.
Yeah, it's not gonna slide off, but it would be nice.
I have a puller.
So Billy's got the, he's got a puller on there. A lot of crank dampeners have threads in them so that you can use one of these Crowfoot, 3-jaw puller things. So he found some bolts, threaded them in there, and I was gonna try to pull that off of there. What size is the socket for the end of that?
19.
Okay. Voila! You got it.
I'll probably still get a new one of these. I don't really want to reuse this one.
What is it? Is it rubber all messed up?
It's like getting there a little bit. It might be separating down there. Not like the Honda where the ring just popped right off.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
a good idea to get new ones anyway. The rubber delaminates over time.
When Billy bought his Civic and we built that, the rubber on the outside of the pulley was completely delaminated. So the belt wouldn't spin at the same rate as the actual engine. It was just kind of sliding.
It's keyed, which is nice.
Oh, it was nice of them to do that for you. I wish they would have done that on any of the engines I have.
Like every other engine would be, yeah. If they would just do that, it'd be nice.
Set up freaking water.
Oh, a whole bunch of bolts to take off now. 13s.
Do you want to start with the valve covers? You should probably start with
Yeah,
the
start
valve
with the
covers.
covers.
Because they do bolt through the timing cover. It's always good to have a good spark plug socket. The one thing I will mention after having worked on way too many cars is that if you get the rubber spark plug sockets where the rubber just grips the plug, a lot of times it's made cheap and it falls out or it sticks to the plug and you don't realize it till you put your plug, your coil pack back on, and then you get a misfire and you're like, why is it misfiring? I just did plugs, and it's because that rubber thing stayed behind on the spark plug. Anytime you get a spark plug socket, don't cheap out, get the ones that have a magnet in them. And I'll try to find a good example of that for you guys. But Billy's taking the plugs out, and then we'll take the valve covers off. So this is an example of two different spark plug sockets. Now obviously they're not the same size. I pulled this off of my spark plug socket set. One of these is for like older plugs. One of these is a 5/8 for 5/8 or 14 mils usually are spark plug sizes. But as you can see in this one, there's a metal ring magnet that is pressed into here. That's what actually magnetizes the spark plug when you go to pull it out, and it doesn't fall out of there. Whereas this one, I bet I can pull it out with my finger. You can hear it sliding. This one has it's just like a rubber cup inside of here, and a lot of times they just stick to the spark plug and then they stay on it and you don't realize it. When you go to pull the spark plug off, it just stays on there. So invest in a good set of spark plug sockets, or just use a regular socket and a magnet or some needle nose pliers. So Billy's breaking loose all the valve cover bolts.
Spark plug still.
Oh, you're still doing spark plug. Yeah. You get all this side out?
All the spark plugs, yeah. They're on the table
Nice.
over here.
Ooh. The old Autolite XP104.
Bottom of the barrel.
Yep. Some of these are gapped way too far apart because with spark plugs, a lot of times you have to re-gap them over time. As they heat cycle, they'll actually
The electrode wears out.
The electrode will wear out, and the actual strap will bend back a little bit or bend up, and you'll actually, especially in turbocharged cars, you're going to want to check your plug gap after they've gone through a bunch of heat cycles. What are those, a bunch of 13s?
Yep. Come back here.
That's why they call them Billy Butterfingers.
I like the way these valve covers look. After they went to like plastic ones, it lost some like aesthetic to it.
Yeah. There's like a sweet spot of cars that had the newer tech, you know, delivery cams, all that stuff, but still had big metal valve covers. They're probably not fun to do in the car, but you know, neither are plastic ones.
They went back to them for the GT500, the newest GT500 metal covers.
Really?
Yep. Apparently the plastic ones rattle too much.
They rattle too much?
Yep, there's some NVH thing that said we need to go to metal to make it quieter.
Interesting. Huh.
That's probably something they picked up on some microphones, and a human may not even hear it.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe it was pissed
So
off their knock sensors or something, but that's cool. Didn't know that. There you go.
It's already pretty loose.
Okay.
Woo! Varnish.
Yeah. You're not supposed to stick your whole nose into it. We'll just pretend.
Yeah, it was run a little warm, yeah.
Oh, come on.
This is what you don't want to see. This is what happens when you don't change your oil regularly enough.
Yep. You need to change your oil and you need to get the vehicle up to temperature to burn off all that stuff, or at least have it trickle back down to the oil pan where it can get sucked up by the filter. But still pretty standard. Most vehicles are going to have some kind of, brown oily film in them. I'm going to take you guys closer. There we have it. Couple cams. The lobes look good so far. Typical wear, mostly in the middle. Not really feeling any ridges.
No VCT, it's a solid cam sprocket.
Yep. Cam sprockets are solid.
Still predates VCT on Ford products.
We might have to do
roller
the timing mod on this one.
Maybe. So the mod is like you put stronger pivot pins in there for the arms, but that only applies to the 4.6s because they went with 6mm thread-in screws, whereas the iron blocks have a 8mm pin that's pressed in.
There's Billy getting the other side.
All right. Which SAE one are you closest to now?
Try 3/8
Nope.
or 5/16.
5/16's too big.
3/8. Nope, that's 6/16.
9/30 seconds.
1/4.
I feel like
9/30 seconds probably.
yeah. We'll try 9/30 seconds. It's a little tappy tap.
Need a little bit of persuasion there.
There we go.
Gently. Good luck getting that bolt out of that socket.
Woo!
You almost caught that. That would have been so cool.
Yeah, we'll get a new bolt for that.
Yeah, maybe the other one will have it on it. It's still got the dipstick. Hiding over there in the back corner.
So now she should just.
You're gonna have to
that's
wiggle.
Crusty. Come on. All right.
Oh, that is rough. All right, I'm gonna get my hammer and hammer.
Woo!
Sweet. All right, here she goes. Oh, that one had a fancy Velcro gasket.
The other one had the gasket, but it stayed in there.
Huh,
This
right,
one's cleaner. So passenger side runs hotter.
Well, that's not always true. Usually the PCV is routed through one side. So the side that's gonna be dirtier is usually the one where the PCV gets sent into the engine.
There's a nice little bit of Ford user friendliness is that we can actually there's recesses here so we can get all the head bolts without having to take the cams out.
Oh, wow.
We'll pop the
Really?
cams out later when we tear down the heads, yeah.
That's cool. Glad they did that for us. Wish some other manufacturers would do that.
Yeah, because there's only, in here and in here, 2 rows of head bolts.
Yeah. It's a big difference when you go to a Ford overhead cam versus like an LS or something, is there's not that external row of head bolts. It's very similar to almost every you know, inline 4-cylinder design. Alright, so now that we've got everything off, I just want to try again, make sure we still can't turn this thing over. There's got to be something in the cylinder. We think there might be a bolt down there or something. All the spark plugs are out, but it keeps hitting at the same spot every time we try to turn it over. Right there. There's something inside.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to turn it back a little bit. There we go. We're going to go ahead and take the timing cover off now. That way we can take all the timing components loose. Then we'll crack the head bolts loose, pull the heads off, and see what's going on with this engine.
Those are different sizes. I can't even tell what I'm looking at down here. Alright, so there's some on the bottom. Alright, there's like a bracket I'm gonna take off there. And then there's these 4 bigger ones. 18, yeah. So on this side, these 2 are shorter. Came out of here. Ones with the studs came out of the passenger side. With the other extra parts on them. Oh, greasy! So far, these are all the same length. Yep.
You always want to pay attention to the lengths of these coming out. That's why we like to record this stuff, because when we go to put it back together, it's good to know where they go, and it sucks trying to look this stuff up. Especially if some of them are like that one, they have a stud on them. They gotta go in specific spots. A lot of times that stud is for holding a bracket or a line or something. And then the bottom ones, of course, go through your oil pan.
Shorter.
Much shorter, yeah.
And then there's, I think that's a 10 or an 8 right there.
That is an 10.
Okay. And that comes off. Yeah, that was probably a bracket for like a power steering line or something.
Yeah. Yeah, one of those rubber. Kind of like a P-clamp.
That just goes in, so I think that's all the bolts.
Oh, that comes out easy.
Yep. Some goo and gaskets. Goo and gaskets.
Really doesn't look that bad, all things considered. But we'll see once the head comes off, if the heads are salvageable. Because our main goal with this engine is to steal the heads.
Fortunately, everything still seems pretty tight timing wise.
Yep, there's no play in the timing chains. They're still tight. So there's a good chance whatever's keeping it from turning over was something we dropped in there when we were taking it out in the junkyard. But we will find out once all this timing stuff comes off and we get the heads off.
Add any more.
So this wheel on the front is your reluctor wheel for your crank position sensor.
It does say front on it too, so you don't get that backwards.
Yep. It's a typical missing tooth wheel.
Yep.
So there's a certain number of these teeth. 45-54. So it's got a missing tooth wheel. That's how it tells where the crank position is. And the crank position sensor is in the timing cover. Always make sure you clean those off if you're going to reuse them. Because they are like it's a magnetic Hall effect sensor, so you want to make sure that it doesn't have pieces of metal on it that are messing up its ability to sense.
Alright.
So now we got to take the
I'll take the tensioners off.
Take the timing tensioners off of there.
10 millimeters. I'll hold on to the bolts, but don't need the tensioner anymore. And these are the plastic variety anyway. You can buy upgraded like cast iron ones, which I'll probably do.
Tensioners?
Yeah.
Oh.
The housing, you can buy it like
Oh,
upgraded
hell
ones.
yeah. I didn't know. Oh, you can't even tell that tensioner is made out of plastic.
Yep.
Yeah, I would definitely upgrade those. I'm sure the plastic ones work all right. It's one of those you might as well while you're doing it. So next, usually, whenever you're doing timing, it's usually the timing tensioner, then you take the guides off, and then you're going to try to take the chains off. And the chains go on in a specific order. So whichever one's out furthest, that's the one you're going to try to take off first, and then the other side. So these are all, what, 8 mils? 7?
That's a 7.
Oh, thanks, Ford.
Where did I put the 7?
Thanks for giving us all a bunch of different sizes. So we got to constantly switch back between 8 mil and 7. Yeah, be prepared for that. When the tension comes off the timing chain and the...
Yeah, so this is what the upgrade, like the timing upgrade is supposed to be. So this is a 6 mil stud, I think.
It's an M6,
yeah. And so what people do is you can get an upgrade kit where you drill and tap this out to an 8 millimeter threaded stud. On the iron blocks, it should be a press-in 8 millimeter already. Timing guide, worn, typical.
Looks good though.
Yep. Same for that side. Some more 7s?
Yeah, they're probably all 7s.
Oh, those are 8s.
Oh, awesome.
Just keeping my pockets full of sockets.
Everybody makes fun of me for keeping sockets in my pockets until they need the right socket, and then I have it.
Well, we make fun of you because we don't know where the sockets are. And then you're like, oh, I found them in my pocket.
Oh yeah, no, that's pretty standard. At least I don't drop something every 3 seconds.
Oh, that one's greasy and long.
That's what she
Oh,
said.
wow.
Ooh.
That's a shorter one.
Nasty.
All right, Ford, seriously. There's 3 different sizes of bolts to hold in 2 rails.
Yeah, it's you don't need to. It doesn't need to be like that. So there's our guide. Guide looks good. Typical wear. They're all gonna be yellow. I don't know what this black stuff is on here. Interesting. This was a reman engine. It was remanufactured. The way that you can tell, and Billy noticed this. I haven't seen this before, but we noticed it in one of our videos, is that not only are the freeze plugs paint marked, but they have these little dots in them, and they're like little.
Called like heat tabs or something.
It's like a heat tab. So if the engine overheats, it'll blow out.
I don't know if it blows out or if the stuff melts. Something happens, and that's how like a reman company knows to void your warranty.
And that's how you know if it's been overheated. But it's also how you know if it's a remanufactured engine. So whatever vehicle this engine came out of, this was not the original one.
Timing chains. Cool. 2 timing chains. It's pretty much the same. It's done this style for years. It's what they still do on the Coyotes. Because the Coyote is just an evolution of the modular engines. Chains seem fine. They're chains.
Yep. Chains usually, they might stretch a little bit, but they're usually pretty resilient. We got our crank timing gear, which is keyed. So it's pretty easy when you go back to do timing. Again, we'll save that for now.
Yeah.
On the Coyotes, it's important to upgrade those. They're pretty notoriously easy to break. If you take a Coyote one off and drop it, it'll usually crack.
Or if you like throw a supercharger on a Coyote, I think they're made of like on most of the base models are made of like sintered metal, I think, just like the connecting rods.
They're real brittle. So That's why if you have like a first gen Coyote, don't sit there on the rev limiter a whole lot and try not to spin it too high. A lot of people have good luck spinning them up over 8,000 RPM. But
The people upgrade that. They'll upgrade the internals in the oil pump too.
yep.
We'll go and pop the oil pump off while we're here.
What are those?
Well,
8s or 7s?
Oh, those are all 8s.
Oh. So
As much as we'll do now, because we still have to get the pickup tube off.
Yeah,
but
pickup tube's
we'll
gonna
get the
be a
bolts
bit.
out of there. We'll get the pickup tube when we flip it over. Head bolts are 15 millimeter. We start from the outside and work in. I don't know how hard these are going to be, so I'm going to get the biggest breaker bar we have. All right, 10 broke loose. Oh yeah, nice long head studs. Or bolts, I should say.
Yep.
Alright.
Now this is probably gonna make a mess, but that's okay. I got the pry bar.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab that side. Let it drain a little bit.
Yeah.
That is not good looking water. That is quite brown. There's a water pipe in here, bolted to the head. Alright, here he goes. Doing it by himself like a man. Get you guys in closer. You can have a look. Oh, there it is. So that's what was keeping us from going up. Tiny little 10 mil nut fell down in there.
Yeah, that's probably when we took the intake manifold off.
Yeah, when we were in the junkyard and we took stuff apart, we were not very discreet with what we did with it. Typical carbon, there's obviously some coolant in there.
Multi-layer steel gasket.
Got a factory,
Nice closed deck.
factory MLS gasket, closed deck, so.
Very, very worn, this
mean,
gasket.
It's seen some miles, but it's pretty
Yeah.
normal. We'll obviously get a better look at the bore, but now I bet it'll turn over.
I was expecting the cams to move, but I'm like, oh wait, I took the
know.
chains off.
Yeah, I was like, why is it so easy? Oh yeah, we took the spark plugs out.
Nice.
No, it turns over good. I can actually still see crosshatch in the cylinders, so we'll have to wipe them out and check them, but not like we're using this block anyway. Still good to see that the heads are alright. Let's get a look at the head.
All right, so here's the cylinder head that we just pulled off. Combustion chambers seem intact. We'll maybe clean up the surface. But I don't see anything that's like a bent valve. These two are sticking up a little bit, but it's probably from the cam lobe. These other ones, yeah, they all seem...
Yeah, we'll check the valve straightness when we pull them out, but
I may even get new valves.
there's
I don't
no
know.
obvious damage, so yeah, I mean, we might get new valves, we might just polish these up.
Lap them. I'll have to get some
Somebody's gonna need
feeler
this.
gauges, but
How's the straightness
it
look?
looks pretty straight. We'll have to come through with like feeler gauges, but it seems...
You can always shine a light underneath,
Yeah.
but that looks pretty good, honestly. So
Yeah, once we clean it up, plus there's all the shit that's still on there we'll need to clean up.
we have lucked out, and the other good thing is that we took the heads off rather than trying to force that one piston to push that nut up, so we didn't destroy anything. Because if I'm not mistaken, it was this one. It's probably what this scratch right here is.
Yeah.
But it didn't gouge anything because we didn't try to force it past that nut. So always, if you ever get a junkyard engine, always make sure you try to turn it over, but you don't try to force it. That's not the right size. Why would I ever listen to Billy? Size first. That'll work. Alright, I got it.
Yep, I was lifting the valves. Woo! Yeah, they're all moving.
Cool. Alright, time for the other side. Man, those things creak like crazy.
Well, it's the first time they've been out in, what, like 16, 17 years?
Yeah, so this is the aluminum block, right?
Yep.
So the 5.4 that we're building is iron block, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that's definitely part of why it's creaking so much, because we got steel bolts coming out of aluminum. Just think about it, Billy. 2005, they were still making this in a Lincoln, and they had already come out with the 3-valve in the Mustang.
And the F-150.
And the F-150, and they thought, oh, this engine's gonna be so much better. And then they end up just going right back to a 4-valve.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy from the junkyard a 3-valve and tear it apart and talk about it sometime.
Yeah.
Because I've had some little bit. I've talked with people.
You've got experience with it.
I've talked with people like at Ford too who worked on it, and so there's a little bit of a backstory.
Yeah. If you guys don't know, Billy actually may or may not work for one of the big 3 American auto manufacturers, and I also might work for a different one. So we've got a little bit of experience. Billy actually found out, he found a video of why the he found a video of why the exhaust manifolds crack on the 3-valve F-150s. Like an internal Ford video.
Yep, I'm working on a video. I have a video that I need to publish for that too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, when we did the headers.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, that was a nightmare. Alright, let's take you guys in and see what this side looks like. No obvious damage, just a whole bunch of carbon buildup. Doesn't look too bad. So this side's head looks pretty much the same. Billy checked it with a straight edge, and it looks good. Just a whole bunch of carbon, but all the valves are about the same color on the exhaust, so it looks like it was running pretty well.
You can see the spark plug threads here, and
Yep.
there's like supposedly 9 of them. Looks like several of them.
So
it'll be interesting to see what it looks like on the Navigator one, if there's actually is less.
yeah, so these heads have more spark plug threads. There's more spark plug threads on these heads, and that's one of the reasons why Billy wants to go with these from a 4.6 liter, because the 5.4 just had less threads on it, and we don't want to strip a spark plug hole.
If I want to go for higher compressions, I want all the threads.
He's going to up the compression. It's basically a max effort in a motor. So these heads look like they will be very good for us to use. We will obviously have to cook them, but we've got a 55-gallon drum and a propane heater, and we will be hot tanking these guys with some Simple Green and a whole lot of patience.
Oh, this is crusty.
Yeah, you might want to save that because I don't know.
Yeah, I'll hold on to this, but I'll probably get another one.
They move just fine. Just a whole lot of crustiness in there. Look at all that nastiness. Delicious. Pieces of leaves and dirt and rust and all kinds of stuff. Oh, I forgot about the head gasket coming off. Just things over good. Alright, we're gonna flip her over and get the oil pan off of here. The good thing about taking the heads off before you flip it is it doesn't fall. This particular engine stand used to be used at like a like a bus company?
Yeah, the guy that I bought it from said it was used at like a place that works on like diesel school buses and stuff like that. So
yeah.
Some commercial outfit.
So it's kind of custom made. It actually has like an engine bearing that you use, that you tighten down the thing on that to keep it from turning. But it doesn't have specific holes or slots for you to stick a key in like a normal engine stand. So Billy made this big, huge leverage bar for us to use to try to turn it over. And it's gonna make a little mess.
Well, it's so much easier to turn when it's not top heavy from cylinder
Right.
heads.
It's like balanced in the middle, so you can just turn it over like it's nothing. This is good.
There was noises inside the oil pan.
Yeah, I don't like those. But I don't care because we don't need any of this stuff. Except, what, maybe the oil pan itself?
Maybe. I'm not even sure about that yet. We'll find out.
I guess we'll figure out as we do the actual build.
Yes, just very gooey 13s. This is something I didn't know. There's actually, so it's a stamped steel oil pan. There's actually like metal brackets that sit on top of it, or spacers to reinforce it. So that's actually nice. Those built in? Oh yeah, there's like spot welds or something. So yeah, that's built into the oil pan. This reinforcement stuff. Oh, cool. Oh, it's so greasy. Wow, those are timing guides. Sections of the plastic. I don't know what those came from because I thought all the other ones looked fine.
Oh wow, there's entire timing guides in there. What the hell?
Which ones did you cut off? So all of the ones that we took off look fine. They might have come from the ones on they're shorts. So I don't know.
Maybe they were uppers. Maybe they.
Oh wait,
down.
these like broke off. wait. Hold on. Did someone like do a timing job and just leave these in there?
I think they did. Check the.
Because these aren't the same length.
No,
they're clearly like broken off pieces.
Let's check the heads.
So the temperature is on the heads, on the chain that goes between the two camshafts. It has these very short guides.
Little plastic guides on the secondary chains.
So it's not those. So it seems like someone did a timing job and just left the old chunks of the old plastic guides in the bottom of the oil pan.
I'm curious which timing guides those came from.
Because the ones that are in there that we just pulled out, see, these are all fine. They're all here. Definitely came from these like lower ones.
Where are the pieces you pulled out?
So it's these two pieces. Oh, this is definitely, look how much darker these are.
Oh my god.
So yeah.
That's probably one piece that broke in two.
Yeah, it probably came from the one timing guide and someone did.
They did the timing on this and left it in the oil pan. So that's case in point of when you get a remanufactured engine, don't just trust it like it's a perfect brand new engine. This is one of the whole reasons why we got into working on our own stuff, is because just because it says remanufactured doesn't mean some jackass somewhere decided to do timing on it and worked for a company and wanted to be lazy and meet his quota and didn't actually do it right. They straight up just left timing components in the oil pan of this engine. Here's another thing, whenever you're tearing an engine down, to always look for, especially if it's an engine you care about.
Goo inside the pickup. Oh gosh.
there's just all kinds of nastiness. Now, you'll usually get a little bit of RTV and stuff. From,
It squeezes out at all the mating surfaces,
what
and
squeezes out. You always want to look for metal chunks, but this is honestly not that bad from a remanufactured engine, but you always check that stuff out. So we should probably take the pickup tube off and take the oil pump off and look in the oil pump.
Yeah. Let me get this other motor mount off.
And he is on his way to Struggle City.
Of course, now the floor is all very slick.
All aboard the struggle bus. Yeah, it's also always a good idea if you are...
And the tank's almost empty.
Try not to track things around. Try to wipe it up when it spills on the